I'll show you how to align this cube mesh properly, so that its bottom is aligned with the world center. Numpad 1, or, and front, to go to the front viewport. This square box of grid is 1 unit in Blender. Type G, Z, and 1 to perfectly align the mesh. Ctrl Z to undo. I'll show you how we would go about aligning the mesh without using that shortcut. Tab to go to edit mode, and 3 to select faces. Select the bottom face, and Shift S to move the 3D cursor there. Tab to go to object mode, and move the origin to the 3D cursor. Shift C to move the 3D cursor to the world center position, and Shift S to move the mesh to the 3D cursor. I would use the first option, because that's easier and faster. If we type S to scale, the mesh will scale based on the location of the origin like this. Let's undo and type G, Z, and 1 to align the mesh. Let's add a ground plane. Type S and 15 to expand it 15 times. Shift D and Enter to duplicate and settle. G, Z, and 15 to move it upward 15 units. To scale it, type S and 0.6 to make the mesh smaller. We'll use this upper mesh as our light source. For the ground plane, let's go to the Shading tab and apply a UV grid image. Click this new button on the left side of the screen, and select UV grid. Let's drag this icon into the node editor. There is our ground material. For the upper plane mesh, let's apply the Emission shader. Any strength values between 6 to 8 will do. Let's set the HDRI strength to 0. Please watch a tutorial listed in the description to match my final render settings, as I'm using a cloned look dev HDRI setting. If we lower the emission strength, or scale the light source mesh, the light will become darker. Let's remove this mesh, and add a teapot. Ctrl 3 to subdivide. Right-click and shade smooth to smooth the surface. Let's add a material for the teapot mesh and set its roughness to 0. This is how we set up a basic product render environment where there's only a single light source above. Ctrl plus Alt plus numpad 0 to set up the render view. If your keyboard doesn't have the numpad, please go to View, Align View, and align active camera to view. I'll use 32 samples to render. This is the end of the tutorial. Please like and subscribe if you have enjoyed watching this tutorial. Thank you for watching.